What's up, guys, people, and fellow ambassadors? Welcome back to the Ambassadors channel. We're here. It is all about motivating you, the people of God. If this is your first time tuning in, I want to say thank you very much for doing so. Do me a favor. Watch this video all the way to the end. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button, as well as go back, check out some of my previous videos in the past, and let me know what you think about those in the comment section. So today, I was at work last week. Today's Sunday, so on Friday, and I was talking to a guy that I spent some time with in the military. We worked together in the engineering department, and I haven't seen him in a long time. So he saw me, and it was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" So he flagged me down. I went over there, went talking to him, and so we talked for a little bit, maybe about 15, 20 minutes or so. Catching up on some things, and then I finally asked him the question. I knew he knew it was coming, so I was like, "Hey, man, have you been to church yet?" Because I've been talking to this guy for a while about going to church. I think at one point he said his aunt is a minister and whatnot. And I said, "Well, are you going to church?" And so I asked him. He said, "No, man, I haven't been in a while. I'm not going." I said, "Why not?" He said, "I just don't have the time to go. I just been busy with work, family, all kind of things been going on." And as soon as he said that, in my mind, I'm like, we got to prioritize, man. It doesn't matter how busy we become. We got to be able to, discern those things that we take on ourselves to become so busy, and the things that we think are so important. Don't get me wrong. Work is important. Work is very important. But I'm talking about prioritizing above work is your soul, because the Bible said, "What does it profit a man to gain the whole wide world, but he loses his soul?" And truth be told, 9 times out of 10, we make ourselves busy at work. We'll take on the overtime. We'll roger up to work because we want the money so we can buy this and that. But at the same time, when we do that, we're compromising, relationship with God. We're compromising spending time, in our Bible, or good quality family time or whatnot. And I just wanted to come up here and talk about that we got to be real careful of that we don't become so busy, and that we really sit back and evaluate ourselves and like, am I really that busy? Because am I really that busy to the point where I can't go to church? Am I really that busy to the point where I can't pick up my Bible to read, even if it's just for 5 minutes? 5 minutes is good, because let's say you start reading your Bible 5 minutes a day. Give it a month's time, that 5 minutes will turn to 10, that 10 will turn to 20, that 20 will turn to 30 or whatnot. And over the period of 2-3 months, you're reading about an hour a day. And so it's better than doing nothing at all. But if we get into the mindset that we are so busy, that I got to get up early in the morning, I got to go to work. When I go to work, I got to go to the gym. After I go to the gym, I got to take the kids to practice. After I take the kids to practice, I got to prepare dinner. After I prepare dinner, I got to lay down and sleep and start it all over again. And so we have to prioritize our schedule. What can I change? What can I rearrange? And kind of, sit back and take a deep look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what am I putting on myself that I can take off? Because a lot of the times we're not that busy. We're just doing things that people have placed on us to do, while we're forsaking the things that we need to do, that we need to prioritize. It's not that we're so heavily busy. It's the things that we have taken on and we have rogered to do, because we have not set any standards or any goal for ourselves to reach. That's what we need to do. We need to make that a standard. Set time aside to read my Bible, to pray. Set time aside. Make sure that is a priority and make plans around that. Because 9 times out of 10, if I make my plans around my work schedule and around other things all the time, then God is going to get the leftover. If God's going to get any time at that, and I can tell you, the greatest investment, I'm not going to say the most, but the greatest investment, there is no greater investment that we can make other than investing time with God. Investing time with God, because that time that we spend with Him, that time that we spend, and I'm talking about reading the Bible and taking the next step forward, applying what the Bible tells us to apply, because that's God's word. And as we obey the word of God, we're abiding in God. We're spending time with Him. So the greatest investment that we can make is to spend a quality time with God, because in that time we will learn of ourselves, about ourselves, and we will walk in happiness. We will walk in peace. You have the kind of happy that money can't buy you. You know, you can have all the money in the world. All the money in the world will not do anything for your soul. You can have the best job. You know, you can live in the best city, the best state. That's not going to do anything for your soul. And so we have to understand and make the right priority that my soul is priority. My relationship with God is priority. And I need to safeguard that priority. I need to make sure that I'm making plans around that and not that around the other plans, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to get squeezed out with the business of life. And I don't want to sound like cliche or anything like that, but we all have the same amount of time. It's just a matter of what we choose to do with that time. And walking in God and walking with God faithfully is a daily decision that we have to make. And like everything else in life, I don't want to say compromise. It's a sacrifice. Everything in life is a certain level of sacrifice. I'm either going to sacrifice this to do that. I got to give this to get that. I got to get that and give this. And so that's the way life is. It's what's more important to us. And so when I was having that conversation with him and I walked away and I was walking back to my job, I couldn't help but to think about it, like, man, how many of us, you know, get so busy with life. We're going to work, right? Taking care of children, pleasing the wife or pleasing the husband or whatnot. If you're a female, pleasing the husband. And, you know, just going to work and doing the whole cycle all over again, and become so busy that you don't have time. We say to ourselves, we don't have time to go to church. We don't have time to pray. And some people, you know, they get into that tunnel vision of work, home, doing every other thing other than spending time with God. God is not even the picture anymore. It's not that they don't believe in God. They do, but because God is so far pushed out by everything else, they don't even think about going to church. They don't think about reading their Bible until something catastrophic happened. And so this is why, as believers, as people who believe in God and have a relationship with God, why it's important for us to share the gospel, why it's important for us to speak to our neighbors, speak to our family members, remind them of the priority that your soul is more important than doing this right here. Take time aside, you know, take time aside, take some time. If it's just, like I said, if it's just 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, do it daily. Eventually it will turn into lots of minutes. 2 minutes will turn into 5 minutes. 5 minutes will turn into 10 minutes, and so forth. But I just wanted to come up here and encourage y'all, if you're watching this, tell somebody about Jesus. Ask them if they've been to church. If they say no, it's okay, because it's not really about going to church. It's about their soul getting together. Then ask them, have they been reading their Bible? If they say no, then encourage them to read their Bible. Start reading the book of Psalms. Start reading the book of, of Proverbs or one of your favorite books. Just encourage them. And if they say no, that's fine. Just walk away. But you have taken the opportunity to remind them that what's most important is their soul. That all this money, all this wealth, all these friends that's gonna eventually fade away or whatnot, means nothing. In the final analysis of things, when we leave this earth, there's only two places: heaven or hell. And the decision that we make here today upon this earth is going to determine where we're going to be. So I just want you all to encourage those people who don't know the Lord, and those people who say they believe in God, but their lifestyle ain't lining up with that, because they are so busy. There's so much on them. Take the time to reach out to them and bring them back in and encourage them to go back to church. Encourage them to start reading their Bible again. God bless.